Against all the evil that hell can conjure, all the wickedness that mankind can produce, we will send unto them only you. Rip and tear until it is done.
Until it is done. For doom walks among us once again. Stronger, faster, more violent than ever. For it is time to be the Doom Slayer once again. Welcome, everyone, to Doom Eternal.
And I have to say, id Software has done it again. Doom Eternal it topped Doom 2016 in just about every single way possible. It is more fast, more violent, more brutal than ever before. High adrenaline-fueled, pumping, non-stop thrill ride that will put your skills to the test and make you feel like the true Doom Slayer. id Software has absolutely killed it this time around. And let me show you why. To kick things off right away in Doom Eternal, you'll be thrust face first right into the heat of the battle as you're plunged right into the fires of hell on Earth. And immediately, this game isn't going to hold back as it thrusts you right into the action just like it did in Doom 2016. The only difference here is, you're going to be given the shotgun right away, and the game makes the tone very clear off the bat. Everything, all the weapons from Doom 2016 are going to make their return, besides the dinky little pistol that it gave you at the beginning of 2016. And some new ones will pop up on top of that. And with each of these guns, once more, you're going to get modifications, but this time around, you have 2 for each weapon to work with. So, for example, take your shotgun this time and say, do I want to give it a grenade launcher on one hand, or do I want it to have a full auto mod? Do I want to take my heavy machine gun and make it spit out micro missiles, or turn it into a heavy sniper? Or what about the new ballista weapon, where it can deliver a precise explosive round, or give it a huge, wide cleaving blade slicing anyone in half wherever you aim? That choice is going to be yours, and you're going to have to be very mindful of your usage on these weapons. Because here in Doom Eternal, the game feels like you have to do more than just run and gun. Be more methodical, be tactical, be precise in your Rampage, and you will be rewarded well. Blowing up the enemy's weak point with a particular gadget, for example, will yield a faster execution, a more brutal results on the demons in your path. Now take all of that and combine it with the fact that you've got such a wide arsenal of gadgets at your disposal now that can turn the tides of the battle easily when you're on the verge of death. So you've got a shoulder-mounted cannon that can fire off frag rounds for collateral damage, freeze your enemies with ice bombs even, for a momentary breather, a chance to heal again, and inflict some heavy damage on the demons. Or will you use the Flame Belch, a shoulder-mounted flamethrower that spews fire out everywhere and torches the horde of demons in front of you, burning their flesh and causing them to shed pieces of armor for you to pick up if you get caught up in a dire situation. Not to mention now that your chainsaw is going to play a big role in the game too. While it still has 3 charges, it now refuels the last charge infinitely, so you can always have some available to kill the weaker zombies in your way for a quick ammo refill. You're gonna really need that too, considering how the ammo cap at the beginning of the game is pretty low, to be honest. It really confused me initially and freaked me out, but once I realized this, that the chainsaw continuously refuels, it changed everything for me, and it's going to be vital in your brutal rampage to keep yourself stocked up. And one last tool to mention now is the devastating Blood Punch. This thing is going to be really important. As you make your glory kills, it refuels in order to make yourself so when you run up to an enemy, you'll deliver a powerful blow right into their face, and it'll create a giant shockwave and either explode the enemy or just hurt them really severely, and it'll also cause health to spew out all over the place, so it'll save you in a pinch while doing a devastating, gore-filled knockout. All of these guns, all of these gadgets, it all combines into one massive... It feels like you're an armory in just one person. The Doomslayer is a walking tank of a person with so many alternate fire options, so many weapons to choose from. And you're going to need all of them to take on some of these demons. So say for example the Arachnotrons and Mancubus, they've got big guns on them, and if you snipe them off with the heavy sniper, then that eliminates a lot of the problems that you have with them and hurt them pretty significant. Armored Mancubuses use a Blood Punch, blow off all their armor. The Sticky Bomb Launcher, fire them at Cacodemons while their mouths are open, and they swallow the grenade, boom, they're free for a glory kill. And enemies that make energy shields, use your plasma gun on them, and they'll create a massive shockwave explosion as it gets overloaded by the plasma weaponry. Take all of these things into consideration. It's almost like a strategy game in a way. You're taking all of this and running it through your head on, okay, how can I deal with these demons over here while I keep pushing through over here? Oh, my ammo's low, I better chainsaw this demon and a great kill. Oh, my health's low, okay, let me get a glory kill on this guy over here. Oh, need some armor? Flame Belch. Your mind will be thinking like that as you go along, and it's part of the fun. You're going to be so into the action, so focused on it, and it's become natural to you to know when to use these things, or when to fall back on an emergency weapon, and it feels so empowering to do so. Such an amazing experience. The other big part of the gameplay now is the element of verticality and platforming and dashing around. That's going to play a huge role in how you perform in your combat and the arenas. You're going to be expected to occasionally use platforming to get from area to area throughout the game, and honestly it's not hard. Now, I don't think it was. A lot of it depends on just using the double jump and dashing, and whenever you dash around you'll automatically cling onto walls or whatever most of the time, so that hopefully won't be a problem for you. But in arenas, that's where it really shines, where you see monkey bars, so you jump at them, grab onto them and swing over your enemies and fire down upon them, and then you use your double dash to rapidly close in the gap for a glory kill on someone that you were shooting at a range, or to get from one side of the battlefield almost immediately to the other. And the double jumping will help you, obviously, to grab onto ledges, pull up real fast. It'll all become vital and second nature to know how to navigate these arenas like the snap of a finger. The only problem that I personally ran into was occasionally if I started to backpedal or run along to the sides, I would sometimes just suddenly smack into a wall or a little bump or even another enemy, and before you know it, if you stand still for just a couple seconds, you can suddenly be swarmed and watch your health bar just rapidly get depleted. Those are some tense moments and kind of frustrating, but hopefully it shouldn't happen too much. Just keep on your toes and be ready to find an alternate route through the arena to wherever you want to go or to whoever you want to deal with. That said, there is one more tool that really helps in combat and getting from point A to point B real fast, and that's from the good old super shotgun. Because in this game, it has a tool on it as its modification called the meat hook. What the meat hook does is you just have to look at an enemy, and when you see an icon pop over their head, it'll launch out, grapple onto them, and you get like zip-lined in on the enemy really fast. And that gives you the chance to unload a face full of buckshot right into them. Oftentimes, extremely high damage or just a killing blow. A very useful tool that you'll come to really appreciate and love in combat. One of the other big parts that helps make this game feel so amazing is the sound and the music. But let me at least say first that the sound design to everything, the demons, the guns, it all feels so intimidating and amazing. The guns roar and thunder with each time you fire. They feel like they have so much power behind every bullet, and it gets reflected in game. And then the music. Oh my gosh, the music. Mick Gordon once again absolutely killed it with this soundtrack. In 2016, he blew us away with some hits like Rip and Tear or BFG Division. In this game, he did not fail in the slightest. Some of these tracks are just as amazing, if not even more so. It sets the mood so perfectly, so well, and it leaves such a high energy running through the field of battle as you charge on and face these demons head on. Whether you're in the depths of hell or in the ruins of the city, they all set the mood so perfectly for both the intensity of the battle, the location, the theme. Everything comes together so well. He did such a mind-blowing job on this. Hopefully he actually gets another award for this, because he has absolutely proven he deserves it with the quality he put into it. It's a soundtrack that definitely is up there among the best, I think. You almost won't know whether to headbang or keep playing the game sometimes, because it is so amazing. On top of the fact of how amazingly well the sound design and music suits the game, it helps create such an amazing atmosphere. And what goes hand in hand with that are these just amazingly gorgeous and jaw-droppingly cool settings that they've created. These environments, these locations for each level are just so mind-blowingly detailed. There's a lot of times where you might just need to take a moment to just kind of stop and look all around you in just complete awe and fascination as you're staring at just a design of hell that is just jaw-droppingly haunting and yet gorgeous. And same for these futuristic cities, these other planets, these other dimensions that you'll be visiting. It's also mind-blowing, and you really do need to take the time to just admire and soak in what you're looking at. I know that sounds a little contradictive to the fact that this is a game all about run and gun, but just do it. Soak it all in, because it is just incredible how amazing the job is on this. And that also leads into another thing. These arenas, the combat areas are all well designed, and what you see off in the distance is cool, but the other part of what goes into these level designs they kind of reflect old Doom. and the fact that there's secrets hidden all around them. And these secrets are cool because, you know, if you were playing 2016, you remember, like, the toys, for example. And now that includes even more cool toy models, but also these albums that you can pick up, and Sentinel batteries to unlock secrets, or, you know, other little hidden Easter eggs, basically. They're all over on every single map, and you'll have, like, a list of 20 or so per level to hit, if you want to, that is. But usually it's not too hard to be able to stumble upon them, and it's pretty fascinating. The other part that goes hand in hand with that, though, is all these secrets that you find, they build up to being able to go back to the Fortress of Doom, whereas that's going to be your hub level between, you know, each level. The Slayer's little own personal fortress watching over Earth that you are able to roam around in, and while you're here, you can select your next mission, do master versions of each level that's more difficult, or just take some of these secrets that you found, like when I mentioned the Sentinel batteries. What you're able to do with those is basically walk into the depths of your Fortress of Doom, where basically there's all these little unlockables that you have. Say you want the classic Doom Marine skin, you can get that by using 2 Sentinel batteries. You want more modifications for your gun? Use 2 more Sentinel batteries and you can get some, or Praetor tokens to upgrade your suit, or what else is there? There's also the Sentinel cores, which are very important because that's what upgrades your health, your ammo capacity, or your shielding. You're definitely gonna need those. I very strongly recommend getting them. And not to mention, while you're roaming around the Fortress of Doom, you'll be able to, like, go into the Slayer's room, for example, where he's got all his personal belongings and all sorts of funny books that you could see on the shelf. That's where he keeps the toy collection that you find. You get to see his awesome guitar collection. A framed picture of Daisy and the Slayer that a fan drew that it was cool enough to be able to throw into the actual game, for example, too. And all sorts of other goodies. Not to mention, if you go onto his little personal computer, there's Doom 1 and Doom 2, the originals, that you're able to unlock and play through the full games. So that's another cool addition. The Fortress of Doom is overall a neat little addition, and there's one other big secret within it, and that would be the Hidden Unmaker weapon, a BFG equivalent essentially. And this is a secret unlockable weapon where if you do the Slayer gates in the main levels, which are these amazing challenges that highlight some of the best parts of the game, I think, where you find a key and you are thrown into a very challenging arena that just absolutely puts your skills to the test. And if you do this 6 times, get all the tokens rewards, you'll be able to return back to the Fortress of Doom and get this pretty strong weapon. It might fall a little short of some expectations for all that work, but honestly it did come in handy in certain parts of the game. Even if it didn't give you the Unmaker though, I would recommend doing the Slayer challenges, because they are just such a cool, intense ride to go through. They are well worth the effort, I think, personally. One last note that I think we have to touch on is, okay, what's going on with the story in Doom Eternal? If you played Doom 2016, you know that there was a story there, but there wasn't exactly too much going on to explain it or anything. Most of it was hidden within the codex entries in the game, if you really wanted to know more. It wasn't a bad story, it's just you didn't have a lot to go off of. I was very curious though, by the time I beat that game. I wanted to know, oh man, where is this going? What's going to go on in a sequel? Is there going to be a sequel? I want to know. Just because the way it ended was just so... Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that to happen, but alright then. And then when you get to this game, I don't want to spoil anything, so I'll try and be careful about what I say and what I show in the footage. But it was really fascinating. I am kind of lost on what happened between 2016 and Eternal. That's a gap I think needs to be filled, and I'm kind of scratching my head about that. But what is there is just really fascinating. It's very cool. There's a lot more cutscenes to kind of explain what's going on, and it is so cool getting to see the Slayer and how he functions. Getting to see him in these cutscenes is really neat. How he interacts with others, It shows more of his personality and what drives him, what makes him who he is. And one of the things that I really like about it is there is a level or two that really dives into his backstory and confirms some of the rumors of who is he? Is he actually Doom Marine? And the other thing that I liked about it was they make some pretty cool references, including to the comic that we, whether you like it or not, or its infamous or famous reputation, depending what you'd label it as. And that leads to another subject on the fact that there's pretty good humor in the game still. I enjoy just seeing how the Slayer is constantly just like, screw this, get out of my way, I'm going to do this. It leads to a funny interaction, especially on one part that had me laughing about shooting a hole into Mars with a BFG 10,000. Yeah, I got a kick out of that. Maybe a little too much, in fact.
I understand. Searching the coordinates to the BFG 10,000 now.
You can't just shoot a hole into the surface of Mars. Rampage! Untouchable! Invincible! Inconceivable! Unbreakable! King Spree! King Spectacular! Holy shit!
Tactical nuke! Incoming!
But yeah, basically, I was just kind of really absorbed in wanting to know what's happening. The story really helped drive me further in this game, and it didn't let me down. It genuinely did not let me down, and I was really happy to be able to see the Doomslayer, how they showed him, especially in these cutscenes where your skins can show up. It really makes me wonder, where can the game go from here? Because there's definitely more lore that they can cover, and he makes some pretty shocking actions that clearly are going to have some major repercussions, really. So there's room for a sequel. I'd love to know what happens, and there's other things that I've noticed that I believe there's supposed to be some story DLC to this game, and I'll just say this: mechs. They're clearly around. They're clearly there for a reason. I have a feeling that we'll see some Doomslayer and a mech action. Or at least I got my fingers crossed for that, but hopefully that's more to come in the future. We'll see what happens with the news as it moves along through the year. And what more can I say than that? If you're a Doom fan, old or new, Doom Eternal is absolutely for you. It surpassed my expectations. In an age of gaming where we're constantly just getting what feel like unfinished games or bug-filled messes, Doom Eternal surpassed all expectation for me and had me hooked to the very end. It's almost that straightforward. I'd have to say that if you're contemplating it at all, go for it. I can't speak for the multiplayer, unfortunately. I didn't bother to try battle mode. There's so many releases coming out right now that I'm just hopping right into the next game. I'm sure you'll see that review soon enough. If I had to give the game an actual score, a 10 out of 10, and I'd say at my lowest, maybe a 9.5 out of 10. There was very few complaints I had. It'd have to be like nitpicking, going out of my way to complain, almost, in my case. So, that sums it up. Now, if you don't mind, I've got some slaying to do. Until next time, everyone, take care out there, and I'll see you in the next review.
You